After 47 years of speculation, could it be that the Presley family has finally revealed the truth? What shocking, heartbreaking revelations have they been keeping from the world all this time? For decades, Elvis Presley has been more than a name. He's been a cultural icon, a musical legend, and a figure of fascination. Yet even with his larger-than-life legacy, the mysteries surrounding his life and untimely death have remained unsolved. Until now, the Presley family has come forward with new revelations that not only shatter myths, but also bring forth heart-wrenching truths about Elvis's life, struggles, and enduring legacy. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi, into a family of modest means. The only surviving twin, his brother Jesse Garon, was stillborn. Elvis grew up with the weight of his family's expectations and the loving attention of his parents, Vernon and Gladys Presley. Their small two-room home was humble and money was always tight. Vernon took on odd jobs to support the family, while Gladys worked tirelessly to provide emotional and moral support to young Elvis. Despite their struggles, the Presley family remained close-knit, and their faith played a significant role in their lives. From a young age, Elvis was captivated by music, particularly the hymns he heard at the family's local church. His love for gospel music was nurtured in this setting as he joined the congregation in singing soulful, uplifting hymns. The rhythms and melodies of gospel would remain a key influence throughout his career, blending seamlessly with the blues and country sounds he later embraced. Elvis's love for music grew stronger when he received his first guitar as a gift on his 11th birthday. Though he initially wanted a bicycle or a rifle, this unexpected gift became the foundation of his musical journey. Elvis spent countless hours practicing, playing, and dreaming of a better life. His classmates and neighbors remember him as a shy boy with a unique sense of style, often wearing flashy clothing that set him apart from his peers even at an early age. As Elvis grew, his passion for music became a defining characteristic. He found inspiration in the world around him, often listening to records by blues legends like B.B. King and country stars like Hank Williams. These influences combined with his gospel roots to form the foundation of his signature sound. Elvis's rise to fame began in earnest when his family moved to Memphis, Tennessee in 1948. Memphis was a vibrant cultural hub, a melting pot of musical styles where the sounds of blues, gospel, country, and rhythm and blues echoed through the street. For Elvis, this environment was transformative. During his teenage years, Elvis immersed himself in the city's musical scene. He frequently visited Beale Street, a historic area known for its blues clubs and street performers. Here he absorbed the gritty, emotional sounds of blues artists like Howlin' Wolf and B.B. King, blending them with the gospel and country influences he had grown up with. In 1953, Elvis took a bold step that would change his life forever. He walked into Sun Studio, a small recording studio owned by Sam Phillips, to record a song as a gift for his mother. The session was unassuming, but Phillips noticed something special about Elvis. A year later, Elvis was called back to record again, and the result was a groundbreaking blend of rhythm and blues with country music. Elvis's first single, That's All Right, was released in 1954, and it was unlike anything anyone had ever heard before. His voice carried a raw energy and passion that captivated listeners, and his stage presence, complete with swiveling hips and dynamic movements, left audiences spellbound. As the single gained traction on local radio, Elvis began performing live, drawing larger and larger crowds. By 1955, Elvis had signed a contract with RCA Records, and his career skyrocketed. Songs like Heartbreak Hotel, Blue Suede Shoes, and Hound Dog became instant hits, cementing his status as a cultural phenomenon. He made history as the first artist to blend the diverse sounds of America into a new genre, rock and roll. Elvis's performances were electric and controversial, challenging the conservative norms of the time. While some criticized his provocative dance moves, others hailed him as a revolutionary artist who was breaking down racial and cultural barriers. His success not only redefined music, but also reshaped American culture, bringing together audiences of all backgrounds and setting the stage for the social revolutions of the 1960s. Elvis's stardom reached new heights when he transitioned to Hollywood in the late 1950s. He made his film debut in Love Me Tender, 1956, a musical drama that showcased his acting chops and introduced audiences to his on-screen charisma. The movie was a massive success, further cementing Elvis's status as a global superstar. star. Over the next decade, Elvis starred in 31 feature films, including classics like Jailhouse Rock, 1957, Blue Hawaii, 1961, and Viva Las Vegas, 1964. While many of his movies were lighthearted musicals, they became cultural touchstones, featuring iconic songs and memorable dance sequences. These films allowed Elvis to showcase his versatility, blending his natural charm with his musical talent. However, not all of Elvis's ventures into Hollywood were met with critical acclaim. Many of his later films were formulaic, prioritizing catchy soundtracks over compelling storytelling. Despite this, they were commercially successful, and fans flocked to theaters to see their idol on the big screen. Elvis's Hollywood career was not without challenges. He often felt creatively stifled, yearning to take on more serious roles and expand his artistic reign. Unfortunately, his management team prioritized financial gain over artistic fulfillment, pushing him into projects that adhered to a predictable formula. Elvis's personal life was as turbulent as his professional career was dazzling. His marriage to Priscilla Presley, whom he met when she was just 14 years old, became one of the most talked about relationships in Hollywood. The couple married in 1967 and welcomed their only child, Lisa Marie Presley, the following year. While their love story captivated fans, it was far from perfect. Elvis's demanding career and constant media attention placed immense strain on their relationship. He often struggled to balance his public persona with his private life, and the pressures of fame took their toll on his marriage. In 1973, Elvis and Priscilla divorced, marking the end of a chapter filled with both love and heartbreak. Beyond Priscilla, Elvis had several high-profile romances, each marked by the challenges of his celebrity status. His relationships were often complicated by his grueling tour schedules and personal insecurities, painting a picture of a man who longed for connection but struggled to find stability. Elvis Presley's health struggles have been a focal point of public interest for decades, but the full extent of the toll fame and personal struggles took on him has remained hidden in many ways. While it's well known that Elvis's decline was marked by physical and emotional challenges, the details of these battles have often been misunderstood or overlooked. His health problems did not start suddenly. They developed over many years, exacerbated by the pressures of his intense career, personal struggles, and lifestyle choices. As early as the 1960s, cracks began to show in Elvis's otherwise thriving career. His hectic schedule, endless tours, and rapid rise to fame left him with little time to rest or recover. The stress took a physical toll, but it was in the 1970s that Elvis's health issues became more pronounced. His diet, lifestyle, and the demands of being a global superstar all contributed to a steady decline in his well-being. Elvis was no stranger to the physical exhaustion that came with his non-stop work schedule. He had suffered injuries over the years, most notably an injured knee that required surgery, and was often in pain from overexertion. At the same time, his performances demanded more and more of him. His charisma on stage had to be matched by a boundless energy, which over time became harder and harder for him to summon. Despite the outward show of health, those closest to him began to notice his growing physical discomfort. He reportedly started to feel increasingly fatigued and sluggish, yet still pushed himself to perform as expected by his team, management, and fans. The glamour of the stage masked the internal struggles he was quietly battling. One of the most tragic aspects of Elvis's health struggles was his increasing dependency on prescription medication. Initially, medications were prescribed to help manage his chronic pain and exhaustion. However, over the years, his reliance on these substances grew, and they began to take a toll on his mental and physical health. Elvis's dependency on prescription drugs was well known to those who were closest to him, though it was often minimized or ignored by his management and inner circle. His family has since revealed that he started using prescription drugs to help him manage the grueling schedule of recording and touring. He was reportedly prescribed various medications, including painkillers, tranquilizers, and sleeping pills, which eventually became a dangerous combination. The Presley family's recent statements shed light on the dark truth behind these struggles. They shared how Elvis's dependency on these substances became so severe that it was not just his body that suffered, but also his mental health. His moods would fluctuate dramatically, and he would experience periods of both intense energy and severe depression. These emotional and physical highs and lows made it difficult for him to maintain any sense of stability. Despite his well-documented health problems, Elvis's management continued to push him to perform. The 1970s saw him on stage in front of adoring fans, but those who were close to him described a man who was often barely holding himself together. His dependency on drugs was no secret within his circle, but they were often swept under the rug or downplayed to the public. This only exacerbated the underlying problems that led to his eventual demise. By the mid-1970s, Elvis's health had seriously deteriorated. His weight had ballooned, and he began experiencing a range of issues, including high blood pressure, liver damage, and the beginning stages of heart failure. Those close to him noticed a marked difference in his appearance and energy level. He struggled to keep up with his usual routine, often becoming short of breath and fatigued. Despite these struggles, Elvis continued to tour and perform. His concerts were still sold out, and he continued to perform in his larger-than-life persona, but behind the scenes, it was a different story. Those who traveled with him on tour would see the toll that his deteriorating health had taken. He often showed up to performances in poor condition, sometimes appearing disoriented or overly tired, but he pushed through, driven by his commitment to his fans. His family and friends now expressed their sadness and frustration at how these struggles were managed or mismanaged. It became apparent that the people around Elvis had either been unable or unwilling to intervene in a way that could have helped him take control of his health. His doctors, some of whom were more concerned with their financial gain than with Elvis's well-being, continued to prescribe him medications, often without proper oversight. In the days leading up to his death, Elvis's health had worsened. Those who were closest to him at the time recall how he had been feeling especially low, physically and emotionally. His dependence on medication and the toll of his lifestyle were clear, but Elvis, ever the performer, continued to put on a brave face for those around him. On the morning of August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley was found unresponsive in his bathroom at Graceland. Despite efforts to revive him, he was pronounced dead at the age of 42. The official cause of death was a heart attack, which was largely attributed to his years of prescription drug abuse and the strain on his body from the lifestyle he had led. His death shocked the world, leaving a void that could never truly be filled. For those who had known him best, the loss of Elvis was devastating but not entirely unexpected. Many of his close friends and family had seen the warning signs, but his addiction and the relentless pressures of fame had clouded any hopes of intervention. Elvis's death marked the end of an era in music, but it also underscored the tragic reality of the dangers faced by those who live in the spotlight. In the years following his death, Elvis's health struggles and premature passing became a part of his legacy, a reminder of the complex relationship between fame, addiction, and mental health. More recently, his family has spoken out about the importance of addressing these issues in the context of public figures and the pressures they face. By sharing these painful details, they hope to raise awareness about the impact that fame, drugs, and untreated health issues can have on a person. Elvis's story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of self-care and the need for greater support systems for those in the public eye. As fans reflect on his life and his music, the new revelations about his health struggles add another layer of understanding to the man behind the myth. Elvis Presley may have left the world too soon, but his music, his heart, and his struggles continue to resonate, reminding us that even legends are human. The passage of time has done little to dim the aura surrounding Elvis Presley. Even 47 years after his death, fans and historians continue to seek answers about the enigmatic king of rock and roll. Recently, the Presley family has come forward with revelations that shed new light on Elvis's life, his struggles, and the truth behind his untimely demise. These disclosures not only add depth to his story, but also reveal the immense personal toll his fame and lifestyle took on him. One of the most striking revelations involves the sheer magnitude of the pressures Elvis faced during his career. From his explosive rise to stardom in the mid-1950s, Elvis was thrust into a whirlwind of constant attention, unrelenting schedules, and high expectation. Family members have described how, behind the scenes, Elvis often felt trapped by his own success. According to those closest to him, Elvis felt a profound sense of responsibility to his fans and struggled with the idea of letting them down. This pressure led him to maintain a grueling performance schedule, even when his health and well-being began to deteriorate. Despite being one of the most recognizable figures in the world, Elvis frequently confided in family and friends about feelings of isolation and loneliness, a recurring theme in the Presley family's recent disclosures. While it has long been known that Elvis struggled with prescription drug dependency, the Presley family's recent accounts provide a more intimate perspective on how this issue developed. According to family members, Elvis initially turned to prescription medications in the late 1960s to manage chronic pain and the physical toll of his demanding career. Over time, these medications became a crutch, exacerbated by a medical system that prioritized keeping celebrities performing rather than addressing underlying issues. By the mid-1970s, Elvis's reliance on prescription drugs had reached an alarming level. The Presley family revealed that they often felt powerless to intervene, as Elvis's inner circle was dominated by individuals who prioritized their own interest over his well-being. In particular, members of his infamous Memphis Mafia. A group of close friends and associates were more focused on maintaining their proximity to Elvis than helping him confront his struggle. This dynamic created a toxic environment where Elvis's health concerns were often dismissed or hidden from the public. Despite the visible signs of his declining health, his management team and those around him continued to push him to perform, exacerbating his physical and emotional challenges. Another revelation shared by the Presley family involves the financial strain Elvis faced. Despite his massive success. While he was earning millions, much of his income was controlled by his manager, Colonel Tom Parker. The Presley family has described Parker's role as both a blessing and a curse. While Parker was instrumental in launching Elvis's career, his controlling nature and questionable business practices left Elvis financially vulnerable. Elvis's estate, Graceland, became both a sanctuary and a source of stress. The Presley family recently revealed that, in the final years of his life, Elvis worried about maintaining the estate and ensuring that it would remain a legacy for his family. This financial stress weighed heavily on him, compounding the emotional toll of his declining health and personal struggles. One of the most poignant revelations involves Elvis's internal battle with his identity. The Presley family has shared that, despite his outward confidence and charm, Elvis often struggled to reconcile his public image with his private self. He longed for the simplicity of his early life in Tupelo, where he was free to explore music without the pressures of fame. This longing for normalcy was evident in his personal interactions. Family members recount how Elvis cherished moments of quiet connection with loved ones, often retreating to Graceland to escape the chaos of his public life. However, even within the walls of his beloved home, the shadow of his celebrity status loomed large, making it difficult for him to find true peace. Perhaps the most groundbreaking aspect of the Presley family's recent revelations is how they challenge the long-held narratives surrounding Elvis's life and death. For decades, the public has viewed Elvis as a tragic figure, undone by his own excesses. While there is truth to this perception, the Presley family emphasizes that his story is also one of resilience, passion, and an unwavering commitment to his art. New details highlight the ways Elvis fought to maintain his creative vision, even as his management team sought to stifle it. The Presley family revealed that, in his final years, Elvis was planning a return to his gospel roots, seeking to create music that reflected his faith and personal growth. This desire to reconnect with his true self underscores the complexity of his character and the depth of his artistic ambition. The Presley family's revelations also serve as a cautionary tale about the darker side of fame. Elvis's story illustrates the immense pressures placed on public figures and the systemic failures that allow these pressures to go unaddressed. His struggles with addiction, exploitation, and isolation are not unique, but are part of a larger narrative about the cost of celebrity. In sharing these details, the Presley family hopes to inspire greater empathy and understanding for Elvis and other artists who face similar challenges. They want the world to remember Elvis not only as a cultural icon, but also as a human being who gave everything to his art, often at great personal cost. These recent revelations offer fans a more nuanced understanding of Elvis Presley's life. Far from diminishing his legacy, they enrich it, showcasing the complexities of a man who achieved unparalleled success while grappling with profound personal struggles. The Presley family's decision to share these insights is a testament to their commitment to preserving Elvis's memory and ensuring ensuring that his story is told with honesty and compassion. As fans reflect on these revelations, it becomes clear that Elvis's legacy is not just about the music he created or the records he sold, it's about the man he was, the challenges he faced, and the indelible mark he left on the world. As we wrap up, it's clear that Elvis Presley's story is far more than just fame and music. These new revelations remind us of the complexities of his life, the highs and lows he faced behind the scenes. Elvis was more than a legend. He was a man with struggles, dreams, and a legacy that continues to inspire. We hope these insights deepen your appreciation for his contributions to music and culture. Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos. Let's continue to honor Elvis's memory together and keep his incredible impact alive.